All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? Happy Tuesday to you. It is Tuesday, July 12th, 2022. This morning, we're going to talk about the balance between celebrating your wins, but never getting comfortable. This is something that I see a lot in the world. I see people starting to make progress, and then they go through a little bit of adversity because they start to get really comfortable in their success. And so that's what I want to unpack for you guys this morning is, what is that balance of celebrating your wins, but never really getting comfortable to where, you can slide backwards. All the progress that you made could go away if you just, if you get just a little bit too comfortable. So that's what we're going to unpack this morning. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life. And then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Happy Tuesday to you. Hope you guys are having an awesome morning. I definitely did. I am off and running this morning. Had an incredible workout at the gym. And just happy to be here with you guys. So I had some thoughts the last couple of days here about, the progress that I see people making all around me and how do you maintain that progress? And I've had a couple of these conversations. And so I wanted to share it with you guys this morning. It is really, really important for everybody to understand that you have to celebrate your wins, right? You can't be in that state of, never satisfied or nothing's ever enough, because people get worn out from that, right? People get worn out from, the constant driving. And for high performers, for people that are, really hard chargers, that is something that, you have to be aware of, that you can't just continuously push people nonstop without having any kind of celebration of progress, right? But on the flip side, if you celebrate too much, if you get focused too much on the success that you're having, it's very easy to miss a few things, to kind of slip on the discipline and on the activities and on the things that it took for you to actually achieve that success in the first place. And so the perspective that I want to provide you this morning is making sure that you celebrate your wins, making sure that you're happy about the progress that you're making in your life, that you're looking back and seeing the progress that's been made. However, you're never getting too comfortable. You're never taking your eye off the ball. You're never assuming that because you've made some progress, because you've achieved some success, that somehow things change. Because you still have to put in the same amount of work. You still have to have the same discipline. You still have to run the same plays in order to continue to achieve success. And then eventually you have to do even more or something different in order to achieve the next level. And I see this a lot, right? I see, people starting to achieve. They start to really dig in and create some success for themselves. And then in some cases, people can cause their own adversity without awareness, of course. They don't do it on purpose, but they can cause their own adversity because they start making progress. And so a good example of this would be in your personal life, if you are on a mission to pay down debt, right? You're on a mission to pay down debt. It is really important for you to celebrate paying down debt. Now, paying down debt and then celebrating by spending a whole bunch of money is not something that's recommended. But you can't, you have to celebrate the fact that you're going to do it, but how you celebrate it really matters. And so, in that case, you would want to find something that's free or very low cost in order to reinforce the fact that you're doing something great in your life. But you never want to then get comfortable and fall back into the same routine, right? Because, what got you there will get you there again, right? So if you start to slip on any of those things, that's likely what will happen. So from a sales standpoint or a revenue and profit generating standpoint in business, those activities, those things that you did to be able to create success, how you price things, the activity that you have, how many phone calls you're making, how many contacts you make, how many proposals you're sending out, all of those things are exactly what created the success. And when those things go away or change, the success changes. And so what I see happening with people is that the minute that they get a little bit of breathing room, the minute that they achieve a little bit of success, they start to change those behaviors that actually got them there. Not because they're doing it on purpose, but it's just human nature for us to start to feel a little bit of comfort and to kind of slide backwards into those old habits. And so this is one of the reasons why you'll always hear me say that I like to measure activity far greater than I measure results, because results are nothing but the result of the activity that happened, right? The actions that were taken that enabled you to create the result. So the result is just the finality of everything that transpired, right? And so to look at the result and only measure that really puts you at risk of losing the momentum and the success that you've worked hard to create. And so think about this in every aspect of your life, whatever that is. If it is, in your relationship, in your marriage, making sure that those things that you're doing, if you're intentionally, in my case, one of my goals this year was to go on more dates with my wife, right? Well, if I lose track of that, if I celebrate too much that, man, I've done a great job of that in the first half of the year and I don't continue it, well, then, I've lost everything that I worked hard to create in the first place. And the results of, us being committed to that as a couple have been incredible, right? It's been really great. We've had a lot of great experiences. We've had amazing conversations. We've always had a great relationship, but to be able to take that to the next level has been amazing. And so if I lose that, if I don't continue to execute on that plan, then I lose all the progress that I've made. And I see this all the time in different aspects of life, whether it be, somebody's fitness or their business or their sales activity or anything, right? Creating discipline and creating habits means that you have to celebrate your progress, but you can't ever get comfortable in the fact that, you think that you've made it somewhere. Success is not a destination, guys. It is a journey. And so as you guide yourself through any challenge, any adversity in your life, anything that you want to take to the next level, you have to realize that it is very, very important to reward yourself in some way, shape, or form. That doesn't always have to be a monetary reward, or, you can come up with all kinds of creative ways that allow you to recognize yourself and your team and your family, whatever it may be. But you can never get so comfortable that you think in some way, shape, or form you have arrived somewhere, because the minute that you believe that, that will start to be taken away from you, and it'll be taken away from you in rapid fashion if you're not aware of what's happening around you. I see this more often than I would like to admit in people, that just they think somehow that it's a destination, that getting to this point, that the work gets easier, or the attention to detail can waver a little bit because they've achieved some level of success. They have brand recognition. They have, things in their favor, right? A lot of momentum. Never forget where that momentum was created by. It was created day by day, decision by decision, putting in the work and checking the boxes that it takes in order to create that success. And so I encourage you guys to think about that in your own lives. What's happening in business? What's happening in your personal life? What are the things that have eluded you for a long time that you're trying to fix? I'm in the process of fixing some of those things in my own life myself. And it's such an incredible feeling to be able to celebrate those little victories, but to never lose focus on the fact that the process is actually what feeds the result. And so remember, the process is everything. Define it. Codify it. What does it actually take? For me, I think people sometimes look at me like I'm crazy when I simplify things down to like a quantity of how many times I want to go on a date with my wife. But if I don't measure it, it will not improve. And so I have to have a measurement of like, what does winning look like? And so, when I do that, and when you do that in your own life in these different categories, you'll start to figure out what are the resources that I need that I don't have. What are, the goals that I need to implement that I don't have in place right now in order for me to go from where I'm at to where I really want to be. And so, important for you guys to remember this. Number one, I know that the first part of this is a big problem for people. A lot of people are afraid to celebrate their wins. They're really afraid that if they celebrate, somehow they'll go backwards. That's not true. You just can't get comfortable, and you can't skip the process, right? You can't skip over what it is that got you there any day so that, or you will end up going backwards. So keep that in mind. Celebrate. Make sure you're taking the time to do that, but never, ever, ever get comfortable with the position that you're in, or you will immediately start to slide backwards. So that's the message for today, guys. I hope you guys are having an awesome Tuesday. I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. I'll see you tomorrow.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.